Our love did not begin with grand promises or dramatic moments. It started quietly, in simple conversations and shared laughter that felt effortless. Back then, love felt safe. It felt like home. We talked about everything, our dreams, our fears, and the future we imagined side by side. I believed love was supposed to grow slowly, like a tree with deep roots, and I thought ours was doing exactly that. Every day, I chose you without hesitation. I adjusted my life around you, not because you asked, but because I wanted to. I learned your moods, your silences, and the small changes in your voice. I thought that was love, paying attention, showing up, staying loyal even when things felt difficult. I trusted you completely, without suspicion or doubt. There were moments when I noticed distance, but I brushed them aside. I told myself that relationships go through phases. Not every day is filled with passion, not every message needs to be replied to instantly. I believed maturity meant patience. I believed loyalty meant understanding. So when you started to change, I didn't question it. I adapted. I remember the warmth in your eyes during those early days. The way you listened when I spoke. The way your presence alone made the world feel lighter. I felt chosen, valued, and secure. I never imagined that love could slowly fade while still existing in words. We made memories that felt permanent. Ordinary moments became special simply because we shared them. I held on to those moments tightly, believing they were proof that what we had was real. I didn't realize that love can look alive on the surface while quietly dying underneath. If someone had told me then that love doesn't always end with a goodbye, I wouldn't have believed them. I thought love ended when people walked away. I didn't know it could end while two people were still together, still talking, still pretending. At that time, I believed we were building something unbreakable. I believed trust was enough to protect us. I believed love, once given honestly, would always be returned the same way. I had no idea that this belief would later become the reason my heart would break so deeply. The change did not arrive all at once. It crept in slowly, quietly, like silence filling a room after the music stops. You were still there, but you weren't present. Conversations became shorter. Laughter became rare. Your attention drifted elsewhere, and I felt it even when you said nothing. You started choosing your phone over our moments. Your smiles no longer reached your eyes when you looked at me. I asked if something was wrong, and you always said no. I believed you because I wanted to. Trust can sometimes blind the person who holds it too tightly. I noticed how you became defensive over small things. How you guarded parts of your life that used to be open to me. I felt like I was standing outside a door that once welcomed me in. Still, I stayed. I told myself love means holding on, even when it hurts. The loneliness I felt was confusing. I was in a relationship, yet I felt alone. I missed you even while you were right beside me. That was the most painful part, not your absence, but your emotional disappearance. Slowly, doubt replaced comfort. I questioned myself instead of questioning you. I wondered if I was asking for too much, feeling too deeply, expecting too much care. I blamed myself for the distance growing between us. I tried harder. I became quieter, more understanding, less demanding. I shrank myself to keep the peace, hoping you would come back to me emotionally. But love cannot survive when only one person is fighting for it. I sensed another presence, not in proof, but in feeling. Something invisible yet heavy. You were sharing parts of yourself with someone else, your attention, your emotions, your time. Even without confirmation, my heart knew. Infidelity does not always begin with touch. Sometimes it begins with emotional abandonment. And that abandonment hurts deeper because it is harder to explain, harder to prove, and harder to heal from. Every day, our love faded a little more. Not with anger or betrayal exposed, but with silence, neglect, and unanswered questions. I felt us slipping away, one unnoticed moment at a time. The truth did not arrive dramatically. There was no shouting, no confrontation filled with rage. It arrived quietly, like confirmation of a pain I had already been living with. By the time I understood everything, my heart was already exhausted. I realized that you had been choosing someone else emotionally while still holding on to me. You never left, but you were no longer loyal. That realization shattered something inside me. I would have preferred honesty over this slow destruction. You said it just happened. That you didn't plan it. But love doesn't betray accidentally. Choices were made every single day, choices where I was no longer a priority. Hearing your explanations didn't heal me. It only made me understand how replaceable I had become. I felt foolish for trusting you so deeply, for ignoring signs, for loving honestly in a situation that didn't deserve it. Betrayal has a way of rewriting memories, turning happy moments into painful reminders. What hurt the most wasn't just that you loved someone else. It was that you stayed with me while doing so. You let me hope. You let me believe. You watched me try while knowing I was already losing you. There was no closure in the truth, only clarity. I finally understood why our love felt empty. Why I felt unseen. Why I was always trying to fix something that wasn't broken by accident, but by choice. I didn't scream or beg. I didn't ask you to stay. I was too tired for that. Love had already left the room long before words could explain it. The betrayal ended the confusion, but it didn't end the pain. It simply gave it a name. And sometimes, knowing the truth hurts more than living in doubt. Walking away was the hardest thing I had to do, not because I still loved you, but because I loved the version of us that no longer existed. I mourned the future I imagined, the trust one gave, and the person I was before the betrayal. Healing didn't happen overnight. Some days were heavier than others. Memories resurfaced unexpectedly. But slowly, I learned that losing you was not losing myself. Staying would have been. I realized that love should not feel like constant confusion or loneliness. It should not require shrinking yourself to be chosen. I deserved honesty, loyalty, and effort. Things I gave freely but did not receive in return. Your betrayal taught me something painful but necessary. Love that dies slowly is often ignored until it's gone. I learned to listen to my intuition, to respect my boundaries, to walk away when love turns into emotional neglect. I stopped asking why I wasn't enough and started asking why I accepted less than I deserved. That shift changed everything. Today, I no longer carry anger. I carry understanding. Some people don't know how to love without hurting others. And that is not my burden to carry. Our love didn't end suddenly. It died slowly, every single day, until there was nothing left to save. And walking away was not a failure, it was survival. I choose myself now. And that is the kind of love that will never betray me again.